We back. Welcome to the Soulful Cream podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Cream Diggler,
And I am Soulful Mexican.
and we are here with a very, very special guest today,
Very
Mrs.
special.
Miss, the Queen Bee herself, Dorae Saunders. Darling, how are you today?
I'm here. Thank you for having me. It's just been, a whirlwind. I tell you, life be life, and that's all I can say. Life
Don't
be
don't
life.
it though? Don't it though? Like it's been a minute since I've seen you guys. We tried to be in all transparency, y'all out there. We tried to do this last week, and my internet was not interneting, and so but we back. We here now. What have y'all been up to since the last time we all saw each other? What you been doing?
Same old working. Getting some music together. As you know, Big Boy Pride is approaching and
Yeah.
Orlando is calling. So I usually play for their church service and such. So I have a lot of music to go through to prepare because I like to do things in decent and in order.
Oh yes, amen, amen. Now I noticed
Mhm.
you, Soulful, have been putting out some videos of you playing the piano and singing along with two other guys. What's
Yes.
Tell me what's that about? What y'all doing?
Um, they're actually coming to Big Boy Pride with me too. So one of the guys actually sings in my church with me. Well, pre-pandemic, we were singing in church together. So I would play the piano, he would lead praise and worship. The other one is actually in the show choir with me. But we've all known each other for years, and we've kind of come together in the past to do little numbers here and there.
Mhm.
But somehow we've just decided to make it something a little bit more frequent, and we're probably gonna turn it into a group. More
Wow.
details to come, but yeah, we're planning on possibly doing a performance together, the three of us at Big Boy Pride. So we'll see what
Okay.
happens.
Yeah, well, nice. Now, Doree, what you been up to? I know you said you've been ripping and running.
Yeah, I'm a perfume vendor for Euro Italy, which the brands are Versace, Michael Kors, and Moschino. So, in addition to performing as much as I have, I work retail about 17 to 30 hours a week. So, I had to judge a pageant on Friday. I had Saturday off. Sunday, I hosted a competition, performed Monday, and then I got up today, literally got dressed and drove from Atlanta and got straight to the counter.
Okay, wow. Now, for the people who don't know, when you talk about you were judging and hosting, tell us what were you judging and hosting? What were you doing?
It was Mr. Augusta Pride, Mr. and MX. That was in Augusta, Georgia. That was Friday. Sweetheart International Plus, Miss Sweetheart International Plus, and Mr. Sweetheart at Large was on Sunday, and that the newly crowned queens are Otavia Hilton and Ari Santiago. So they are the new winners. It's a division for plus size kings and queens, and they were victorious. And then I performed at Bulldogs on Monday.
All right. Now, when you are judging, what are some things people are looking for when they're, as a judge? What is there like some points you're assessing? What are the
Well, the criteria is normally, it's written by as each pageant is different. So they're judging in various categories: formal wear, talent, sometimes presentation or question and answer. If there's an interview prior to the main competition, so um, there are various things that they're judged by, and judge according to what they're asking for on the sheet. Though they're asking for your opinion, they didn't ask you if you liked it or didn't, because that's not on the score sheets.
oh,
I could think it's god awful horrible, but if it met the criteria, then I got to score you fairly.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
they didn't ask me if I liked it. So
how do people get into the scene of pageantry if they want to get into that?
the internet, so many systems are available. You can inquire with various people that are probably part of the systems or formers that have already won, and find out the date, find out the criteria that they're looking for or the categories that are called for, and you go from there. Pay
Okay,
your entry fee, prepare yourself, and do it.
all right.
There you go. Now, this is Dorae as a judge, but for those of you that have not had the opportunity to experience Dorae as an entertainer, she is a firecracker.
Mm.
Like, y'all gotta see her in action. It is just a spectacular. You will never be disappointed when you see Dorae perform. In
I think
fact,
you're biased.
I'm a fan, but I will say the very first time I ever saw Dorae perform, it wasn't even live. It was on America's Got Talent, and Dorae did a performance in front of the judges on a national TV, uh,
No.
doing a Tina Turner number. And
Mm.
I remember they asked her, "Do you sing or this and that?" I don't sing, but I'm gonna dance all over this stage with all the sass and everything. And she gave it to you. She had the crowds going crazy. So if you have not had a chance to experience a performance by Dorae and she happens to be in a city near you, go and support. You will not be disappointed.
Oh,
Mm.
thank you. You're very kind.
Well, you know, now, Dorae, did you perform at Heavy Hitters? I think pre-COVID. Was it? Was it?
Yeah, I did. I'm the first lady of Heavy Hitters.
Okay, I've seen you perform too. I have seen you perform, and I
Yeah.
remember thinking anybody that can hold the audience's attention in full light of the that room we're in, like with the dining room hall that we were in, no spotlights. What do you call the overhead lighting? Whatever that stuff.
The chandeliers that was at the brunch, right?
Yeah, the brunch. Yes, yes. No special lighting, but commanded the room, commanded the stage. Oh yes, yes. Performer. Yes.
Baby, them heels went flying across the room like a 40-yard field goal.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I totally concur. All right. So what I have been up to, I almost skipped myself. What I've been up to, uh, I'm trying to how to say this. I've been dealing with a lot of crying adults. Adults who don't handle their stress well. They should, because I work in the education field, and they come into my office, and I'm like, why are you crying because the computer not working? Why is that tears for you? And so I've been doing a lot of just trying to empathize with people, and trying to just not go, well, I wouldn't do that. Although one time I had to tell this one person, I said, I'm gonna need you to give me the energy I'm giving you, because if I give you the energy you giving me, it's gonna be all kind of craziness up in this
Right.
office right now. Okay, so bring it down, But other than that, it's been really good. My time since I saw y'all last.
The joys of managing people.
I tell you, personnel issues is 90% of the problem. Everything else is okay. It's always the people stuff.
Now,
Uh,
how does this name Cream Diggler come about? I just have to ask because that done threw me for a whole.
well, it's really simple. Back in my gay 20s, when I was young and 30-some-inch waist days, me and my friends were gallivanting around Columbus, Ohio, and one of my best friends, we used to call him Peaches. His nickname was literally Peaches growing up. But when we got together, he was like, you my cream. So we became Peaches and Cream. And then when the movie Boogie Nights came out with Mark Wahlberg,
And
and
Dirk Diggler.
Mark Diggler was his porn name, right? And so we were like, oh, Diggler, bitch. We got to take that last name. We are the Digglers. And so we became Peaches and Cream Diggler. That's how it happened.
Good day.
Yeah.
Because you do understand in today's terminology with what all the kids are into, your name is very sexual.
It is. It is. It does ring like that now, but its origin story is so innocent. It's so.
Yeah, but where we at right now though?
No, what? No, is the Diggler? Are we thinking? Are we thinking? Are we thinking Diggler like that? Is that what we thinking?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
got a Cream Diggler. Yeah,
Oh yes. I
and
got.
then yeah.
If the job calls,
Oh shit. You know what? Listen. I can't. I can't. I
He's
just
like,
can't.
let's just say I understand the assignment.
Yeah. You got the assignment and you're ready to commit.
Yes, yeah, I will do my homework. Amen.
No, I think you've done your homework. That ain't what we're worried about. Your homework's done.
The homework is done.
But we digress.
But we digress. Yeah. Let's get into some politics for a quick second.
Okay.
Florida's first gay Latino lawmaker, Carlos Guillermo Smith. How did I do, OT? I mean, so sorry there. Sorry, Soulful. How did I do? Guillermo.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah, there's no R's to roll in any of that. So, actually, I've never heard you attempt to roll an R. Can you?
Give me a word where R should be rolled.
Carro.
Oh, carro.
Okay, we'll take it.
It's very gringo, huh? A gringo.
No, it was kind of like you said you rolled the R, but you kind of added like a at the back, like you're trying to clear your throat.
I'm a Jewish Spanish. That's
wow.
So the first, now this is really interesting, right? Particularly because of where we are with this guy, Florida, right? And we know all the shit that's going down in Florida right now. Because right now Guillermo is what's below Senate is in the House
representative.
Yes, yeah. So he's trying to move on up. What do y'all think? You think Guillermo gonna get it? You think the people is gonna respond to Guillermo?
I'm assuming
I think the gays. I think the gays are definitely going to, because they got to get DeSantis. They got to get somebody that can sock it to DeSantis. Yeah, I think we're in a very heightened political climate right now, but just because of everything that's going on in the world, and with people like Ron DeSantis, who seems to be unhinged more than that orange one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really do think he's trying to outdo 43. Like, I think he's trying to
45.
45. Sorry, thank you. I think he's trying to outdo 45 and try to get more notoriety, because it worked for 45, right? The more ridiculous shit he did, his base, they ate it up. They just did not care. They just did not.
But care. I think this has just gone to a whole nother level. That man is unhinged. And then, So I read a clip and I thought, oh, you don't tapped at the right ones. They said that because there's a few expletives I really want to call them. But they said he's trying to open a prison next to Disney. Now you don't mess with the wrong mouse.
Oh,
do you?
Go ahead. I'm amen. Yes, you're right. Go ahead,
baby. You think that the Disney folks gonna let you put a prison next to their damn theme park? You have bumped your damn head. Now that will be his undoing.
Yes, you are totally.
And you ain't got the money of Walt Disney, Scootaboo. You better have several seats at a sold-out concert. You better sit down somewhere.
When he started messing with them, I was like, thank goodness. He's pushing the wrong one. Finally.
No, actually, he's pushing the right one. That's what we need you to do. Go tamper with that mouse.
Yeah.
You're gonna gag. It ain't gonna be what you planned. I know what you had in mind, but none of that's getting ready to happen. Not to mention, not to cut you off, but how about, and he even got married at Disney. They said they dug that up.
Yes, they did dig that up.
All I'm saying is all them Disney princesses are coming for him. And they
dresses and all.
They can fight now too.
Yeah, so I look forward to that. Speaking of other craziness, so a teacher is suing the school because they fired him because he was refusing to use the pronouns of the students. We live in a day and age now where students, they're young people, I'll say, are they're trying to. Some of them know right away what their gender expression is. Some of them are experimenting with it. So you do have some people who may come in. I've seen it in my job. Last month, you want to be called one thing, and 2 months later, you want to be called something else. 3 months later, you back. But then you got some people that it is what it is, and you cannot necessarily identify their gender based on how they appear. their gender doesn't necessarily match in that way. And so this teacher, he was trying to get away with not calling the students by the genders they wanted to be called, by calling them by their last names. But then the parents were like, and some of the students were like, nope, that's not it. You still not honoring, who these students are. And so instead, so he wouldn't do it. And so they fired him. And now
Very
he's
good.
suing the school for religious discrimination.
And I heard that, and I did not read that they threw that out too.
Mm-hmm. They did throw it out, but he's still trying to come. He's still trying to come back on
He's
it.
trying to appeal.
Yes,
He can appeal. Let me tell you something, sir. This is it. We're just gonna get to the nitty gritty.
Are you still there? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is the deal. When you signed up to become a teacher, nobody asked you about your religious whatever because nobody cared. Ain't nobody asked you to be a teacher. You chose to go get that degree, take your exam to become an instructor. And as an instructor, you took an oath. You took an oath, I'm sure. Whatever the oath may have been. That oath ain't said nothing about your religious beliefs or whatever the case may be. And if you felt that was the case, then you needed to teach in a private sector where you would be more protected. But you're in a public sector. And at the end of the day, those parents pay the taxes that help pay your job. With that being said, Scooter Boop, we're going to need you to simply do as we asked, or they did the correct thing. I feel they fired him, and good for them. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. We're in a very heightened, sensitive climate. And people have the right to be addressed as they want to be addressed. And if that's something that you feel you cannot do, just like that judge who did not want to marry the same-sex couples, and they got this thing about it, they ran somebody against her and got mother up out.
Right.
With that being said, you don't get to inflict your personal whatever you want to inflict. And it does not get to apply to you as you want it, because that was her issue. It was against her religious beliefs. We don't give a damn what you believe. Ain't nobody made you come get this job. That's what you chose to do. So do the damn job at hand, Mrs. Thing. And with that being said, if you're not going to do it, get your ass up out of here. But then looking at her, looking like she was some inbred anything. Anywho, get the hell on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just one thing to note, the teacher actually wasn't fired. The teacher resigned.
Oh, he resigned. Okay.
Resigned, in
And then wanted to
anticipation that
sue.
he would be terminated. But, I could see why the lawsuit is going the route it is about religion, because in any workplace, in any large workplace, corporate workplace, it's a lot easier to seek litigation when it's a violation of religion, sexual orientation, and such like that. But, I totally agree. This is a public sector job. You kind of knew from the get-go what you were getting into. And then second of all, to cite that it's against your religion. Obviously, this is a Christian person who's using a Christian law group that's helping him. Show me where in the Bible it tells you thou shalt use these pronouns. That's what I want to know. What chapter in the Bible is that?
Well, since we're going to go with the Bible, let's talk about you and your mixed fabrics and your shellfish and touching of the pig skin and fucking before you got married. If you don't get the fuck out of here with this bullshit, you cut that out. You don't get to cherry pick or use your religion as to weaponize what you're trying to do. I'm glad I got no kids, because I'd have probably been and went up to that school and set that whole ablaze. Let me tell you something. You not gonna make mine feel some kind of way and got my baby laying on a couch or having to talk to a therapist because of you and your screwed upness. I don't care nothing about your religion. Your religion ain't got nothing to do with me. And if you want to inject your religion, go teach at a religious school.
Yes.
Teach at a Christian school or a school that aligns with your religious whatever you got going on. But your religious whatever you got going on has nothing to do with my child, and you better get it right or get gone.
And
the end.
The end, for real. And unfortunately we live in a time where even when businesses try to do right, there's so many people out there who want to see wrong done. And this just leads me to our next topic, not Chris Rock, Kid Rock. Kid Rock.
Yeah.
So Bud Light just released a ad with featuring a trans actor. actress and or model. I don't know if she's all the things. And so a lot of course the Rainbow Coalition is celebrating, but a lot of the conservative pundits, conservative artists, particularly Kid Rock, got on there and shot up a bunch of cases of beer, which is so dumb, right? It's like you don't pay for the cases already. It's just like it's like when everybody was burning Dixie Chicks CDs and shit. It's like, dummy, you done bought the CD. Like they got their money. They don't care about you doing something like this.
Same thing happened with Nike when people were buying and burning Nike shoes to protest the
Colin Kaepernick.
The ad with Colin Kaepernick. Like, you're helping Nike make all this money by buying the shoes that you're gonna burn.
That makes no sense. But what do you think about particularly these country stars? Because another country artist, someone threw a Bud Light can up on the stage with him. I can't think of his name. It's not important. But and he was like, "Oh hell no! Get this out of here!" Like these people who've been drinking Bud Light for years, all of a sudden now Bud Light is no good because they featured a trans person in an ad that they know, because they could have featured a whole lot of trans people that they didn't even know was trans, but they just happen to know that this person was trans. What do y'all think about this?
I don't. I don't. I'm not gonna. Some foolishness we don't even address. We don't even deal with that type of fuckery. Who gives a damn? You done bought the beat and gave him the money. You could shoot up all of it as far as we're concerned. Buy more and shoot more. You damn idiot. No. I no. 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 Mm-mm. Mm-mm. We're not even going to unpack that. Nope.
Say no more. Soulful, what you got?
No, I'm on the same boat. Like, if you're still buying the product, so it's working. Maybe it's like you're still helping to make the bottom line.
You keeping them in the black, you dumbass.
So, hey, I agree with y'all. We can move on to the next on that, and let's talk about the lovely state of Minnesota. Minnesota is gonna soon become a sanctuary state for LGBT plus people. There's so many states that are talking about not allowing people to do gender affirming care for their children and things like of that nature. And there are certain states who are saying, hey, we are going to do that. We're going to protect those rights and you can come here. What are your thoughts about the fact that we even have to have something like that going on? I feel like we're in the almost like the slavery time. We're like, well, this is a
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it is the Twilight. It is the Twilight Zone. It is the Twilight Zone. Go ahead.
I don't even know where to begin other than to say, and I'll give you an example. I'm going to use myself. So when COVID came about, the day that they shut the country down was the day that I got sick. Didn't realize it was COVID. Thought I had the flu because I was going between Florida and South Carolina. It was hot and cold, which is the time of the year I get sick anyway. I always get the sniffles, head cold, whatever. But this one felt a little different. Didn't think shit of it. Get home and started taking Theraflu nighttime. And I slept around the clock for damn near 9 days. At that point, my mother has come over. I wouldn't open the door because she has a key. And my thing is, we're in a pandemic. Nobody should be knocking on my door, so I wasn't going to answer the door.
Right.
But the knocking wouldn't stop. She don't woke up the neighbors, because I live in a townhouse. So she don't woke everybody up because my car's sitting here. And she's like, oh, no, ma'am. They're like, no, we haven't seen her. So eventually I opened the door. She's like, baby, what's going on? I said, Mom, man, I'm sick. I don't feel good. I think I got a cold or flu, but I'm going back to bed. I'm going to the doctor whenever I say I was going. Baby, I canceled that doctor's appointment. The next thing I know, Miss Sting has come through the door and snatched my ass up. We argued a little bit, but she snatched me up and made me go to the hospital, and I didn't want to go because I knew how they treated trans people and gay people in hospitals. Well, I happen to be a celebrity in my city. I have a key to the city. Being on America's Got Talent, Tyra Banks, Maury Povich, Showtime logo, all these things. So I'm not the average Jocelyn or Jolene, if you will. I won't say Joe, but we'll go with that. But long story short, we get into this hospital and they did the preliminary stuff. They took my vitals, left me alone. Then they came in, gave me the COVID test, and I remember them woke me straight up out of my sleep because I was fairly lethargic, and I screamed at the nurse, "What the hell are you doing to me?" Because that's when they were sticking that thing up your nose. So, baby, I was no more good. So, but then they left me alone. Well, they didn't leave me alone. They put me on oxygen and saline. Then they left me alone for about 2 hours. Mm-hmm. By the time they came back, I done sat up in that bed. Okay, I'm ready to go home now. They said, "Ma'am, you're not going anywhere. We finna take you upstairs in the room." I said, "I'm not going away with you. Have you lost it? Not going anywhere with you." Now, mind you, they are in silver hazmat suits. All I saw was their eyes.
Right.
Them bitches was covered head to toe. And at this point, I'm thinking, "Oh, Miss Thing, this is real. I was like, shit's getting real. This is really going down." So I said, "Well, I'm not going to with you. Well, ma'am, we can't let you go home. You have COVID, and we're going to take you with us." "Oh, I don't know about this, Miss Thing. We're going to have to sit here for a minute." So, because in my mind, I don't know how you're going to treat me. So by that time, I'm thinking, okay, I got to call she's my big sister by another mother, but her husband's my attorney. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to call. I said, well, I got to call them because we're going to have to sue this hospital because they're not going to treat me right. And we're going to get them together. Immediately, I'm thinking, sue you.
My kind of lady.
So they take me up. I finally agree to go. And they take me up and they put me in my room or whatever. And they checked on me every day. I mean, not every day, every 3-4 hours. Here they come. I couldn't sleep well because they kept waking me up. But I say all of that to say, even with them knowing that I was transgendered, I received the best health care. But what took it over the top is when they realized who I was and who my regular physician was. I went from coach to first class.
Okay.
Yeah, they treated me like the Queen of England. I think more than anything, if I'm being honest, they was like, "This chick ain't down on our watch. We're gonna keep this whole alive. You won't die on us." That's what it gave me. If I'm gonna be honest, they were like, "Oh no, Miss Thing, you ain't gonna die on our watch." And I think I had gotten through the worst part of it because I laid in my house 9 days, could barely breathe. I think if I laid there any longer, I would have been dead though. And if it was time to go, hell, it's time to go. Death doesn't scare me. I say all that to say, South Carolina, we can be racist and backwoods, but being a transgendered woman, I had excellent health care. But I also knew that if you act up, I'm gonna sue the hell out of you. Yes, I am. I don't give a damn if you know I'm transgendered, whatever I am. And they were asking questions like, "So how long have you been transgendered? We see that you've done this and you've done this. You're really, really well known and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. What is we doing with this treatment, honey? Because this is what we need to know." And even more importantly, at that time, because I got sick at the very beginning, so they didn't know what to do. They were giving me hydrochloroquine. They didn't know what to give me. And I remember asking the doctor, "Well, how do I not get sick again? How do I not catch this again?" He said, "Well, just take your medication and stay quarantined." And, what? Huh?
And
So,
I mean, this is before the vaccines and everything. They were throwing medicine
no,
at
this
you.
is, I'm telling you, within the first 20 days of COVID. First 20 days. So I'm glad that there are places in the unfortunate incidents, if they're going to deny you health care because of their biases or whatever, that there are sanctuaries that you can go to. Luckily, I don't have to go through that in South Carolina, even though we ass backwards. There are a lot of places, like you said, that are doing this type of denial or whatever. And I think it's unethical, inhumane, if you will.
Yeah.
That you would deny someone health care based on your gender and then a child at that.
Yeah. Did you see where this senator in Kentucky, I think, or one of those K states, he was saying that he supported a 12-year-old getting married. Like if their parent signed off on them getting married, he supported that, but he did not support a 12-year-old deciding what gender that they deciding that this is that I've been born in the wrong body, or this is this is who I really am. He's saying that a 12-year-old cannot decide. I was
He's
like,
a predator. I think he's a predator and a molester. Kiss my ass. I don't care what you tell me.
Yeah.
Because why would that's going back to child brides?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Yes.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. While we're there, since we already there, the very things that they say that they want to protect the children from are the very things that these white men are doing to harm the children.
Yeah.
The child molesters, the sex traffickers, the rapists, the pedophiles, the clergy doing the things that they do to kids, the mass school shootings, which none of the gays are known to do. This is what almost every mass shooter has been a white man.
Mm-hmm.
Child, if you don't get the hell out of here, listen, let me scale back.
Let it out. It's a safe space. It's a safe space.
No, I'm just like, what kind of hypocrite could you be? You say you want to protect the babies, but you the ones harming the babies, and you fuckers are making the laws that harm the babies.
Mm-hmm. Right? You claim you want to make sure all the babies get here. No, take away the abortion pills, take away all this stuff, and then when the babies get here, you either abandon them or now you want to marry them at 12 o'clock. It's like,
or rape them, or sodomize them, or sex traffic them,
or put guns in their hand while they go to school.
Yeah, well, that part. It's like
you can't make this shit up.
You really cannot.
You can't.
I mean, if you did, you'd be like, wow, this is really some elaborate fiction. This is some, this is what you would think, but this is the world. This is our reality. It is
fool, pure defuckery. There's no other way to describe this. Just Mrs. Thing. I can't. I can't.
Now, I don't know if y'all, onto a little lighter note, if y'all watch RuPaul's Drag Race at all.
I don't.
Okay, can I ask you, as someone who's in the pageant world, because I'm a huge fan of it, but I'm curious to know, from your point of view, as someone who's in the world of pageantry, how is it looked? How is the show? Do you know if there's an opinion about that show in particular and how it's looked at? What's the opinion of people who are in the business?
It's several opinions. So RuPaul's Drag Race has torn the community in a lot of ways. You've taken some of the most horrible people that couldn't get booked at a talent show, couldn't win a talent show, and you don't put them on TV. And because they're now a reality star, part of pop culture, they're now making thousands and thousands of dollars and couldn't paint their way out of a paper bag or entertain in front of a petting zoo. But on top of that, then you have pageant girls that have been very established, and sometimes you make a mockery of them and disrespect them. It's a show that I've watched maybe one season. I've never watched the whole season. I watched an episode or two. I didn't like the cattiness, the bickering, the cat fighting back and forth. So that's not who our community is. That's some people, but those are very isolated things, and it was just something that I took offense to, and even more so when RuPaul says this is the best that drag has to offer. Says who? You can't even do your own makeup in here. Miss Thing, have a seat. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. This is the best that drag has to offer, and most of them, baby, listen. Where all drag is valid, I think all drag is not bookable. That's just it. And for me, one of the reasons that I probably have not gone as far as I would have gone in my career, I refuse to go on reality TV. I will never give anyone access to my life. I don't ever want that type of scrutiny. No amount of money is worth my peace. No amount of money is worth the racist attacks, the misogynist attacks, the trans attacks, even within our community.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a no for me. It's a complete no. Congratulations to anyone that goes on, makes it far. God bless you. It's just not my reality, and I'm not watching it. On top of that,
now, well, have you heard that Sasha Colby won?
I was aware. Yeah, I heard she won
latest season. Now, as someone who's not in the pageant world, I only saw from what they're saying that she is very, she's a winner, former Miss Continental, and everybody's like, oh, Sasha. Like, is she Sasha in the pageant world?
She hasn't done a lot of pageants, but yes, she won one of the biggest ones, like considered one of the Oscars, Miss Continental. So that comes with prestige. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, she did a really good job this season of Drag Race. I must say, it was almost like, okay, it's going to be Sasha in the finale, and let's figure out who else is going to join her, because she was pretty much nailing everything. So maybe you can.
I was Team Anitra. Sorry.
Were you Team Anitra? She was good. Anitra. I mean, I loved Anitra too. I loved all the girls, but that finale number, it was like.
Yeah, I knew Sasha was going to take it. She already came in with that big dress. I said, there's a whole bunch of reveals under here. Anitra just has the one bodysuit. We know who's winning this.
When I was younger, like before Drag Race was out and stuff, I used to think, I'm going to open up a drag performance training school, because because so many at that time back then, like at least drag queens in my town were not really good performers. I was like, I gotta teach them how to emote and act. But now
you cannot. You're born with it or you're not. It's a natural born talent. If you're a performer, it's going to translate into that realm. If you're naturally talented or a performer, I can't sing a lick. But I can act my ass off, and I dance well. I studied different entertainers to be an impersonator of entertainers, but I don't think there's a drag school that you can teach them. What you can teach them how to do their makeup properly. You can teach them how to pad properly. You can teach them how to dress properly, do their wigs. But talent, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You either got it or you don't. Anywho, moving right along.
And this is why we're glad to have you on the show.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for you guys having me. And some people may be offended or pissed off or whatever, and I'm sorry, but
hey, it is what it is. We all got some opinions.
Anybody who is impacted by this should already have the tough skin from the different critiques and opinions they get online, because nothing beats that. You're being constantly showered with a bunch of opinions from tens of thousands of strangers, a lot of times which are negative. And it's just, and just to quote what RuPaul said one time on the show, what other people think of me is none of my business.
It's not my business. But when you are disrespectful, what the hell? When you are disrespectful, when you are rude as hell, when you are mean-spirited, when you are downright vile and evil, no one signed up for that.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yes.
And with that being said, some of us, anyway, I'm gonna use this song, and you take it any way you like. I'm very Fantasia. When I see you.
Okay. All right.
When I see you, because I read what you wrote. So when I see you,
right. ... on site.
I didn't say what. I just said when I see you.
I know.
Because I'm gonna see you.
Yes. Now, what do we think about, speaking of Drag Race and all that jazz, Jinx Monsoon, who is one of the former Drag Race contestants, and she won
Winners. Yeah.
And one of the All-Stars. She's just finished a run on Broadway playing Mama Morton on Chicago. Like, that's really big. That's so big. Yeah,
that was one of her goals too. She mentioned it on the first season she competed, that she could see herself in Broadway and drag one day, and she accomplished it.
I think that opens doors. I think it's groundbreaking. That lets you know that you can break the glass ceiling and you can do whatever you set your mind to, but also whatever's for you is for you.
Yes.
And it will happen in its own special time, not on your time, but on God's time when he decides.
Yes.
Or whoever your higher power is that you believe to. I don't want to infringe on anyone. So whomever you believe in, when it's for you, and no one can do anything to stop it. They can slow you down, but they can't stop you.
Yes. Amen. I have to believe that. I believe that. So we're gonna get on to our main topic, and I want to see if I can. I'm trying to play this video. You know, I try. Let's see here. Try.
Oh, no trick or treats.
I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm trying to make sure the video don't start playing before I.
So, we've historically on the show brushed on the topic of pronouns, but we were always very cautious with it because, you know, Cream and I are both cisgender men, and it can be difficult to have a broad opinion about pronouns when we're on the privileged side of that. So one of the reasons we're grateful to have you on here is because we would truly value your insight and your contributions when it comes to such topics.
All right, so I want to play a little video on that this young lady is talking. Hold on, what's going on? Why didn't I hear that? Hold on, let me turn this off. Make sure that one day I'm gonna have one of those, a fancy sound guy, who's gonna be like the person who
runs it all,
and I could just sit and host. Did y'all hear any sound when I started to play that video?
No.
Okay, all right. Let's.
We see the lips moving, but there's no sound coming out.
Oh, there's no sound.
No, just like it's like a fuzz or sound.
A fuzz of sound. Interesting.
Yeah, like a window down, or just yeah. Because it looked like she finna say some stuff.
She does. I previously watched the video, and it had a very, very angry energy. But she identifies as a cisgender woman, and she prefers to be called a woman. She gets offended when they try to use some of the newer terms like bleeders or breastfeeders or things like that. And she just comes from a very angry place of being offended that she's being called anything other than a woman.
I think we're ready. Let's see here.
Oh, well, let's be ready, because I got a feeling Mama gonna say it.
So I'm pressing play. If you can hear it, just say I can hear it.
I don't have a problem with the trans community at all, but this shit is getting ridiculous. If you say as a trans woman, you want to be called her, she, whatever you decide, even though you are a trans woman, if you want to be called her, she, fine. I'm going to respect it, and I'm gonna do that. So me as a woman, if I say don't call me a cis woman, I'm just a woman. You should respect that. I'm not no motherfucking birthing person. I'm not a chest feeder. I'm not a bleeder. I'm a fucking woman. And that's what the fuck you're gonna refer to me as. And you cannot ask for respect while disrespecting women. And that's what the fuck we get for trying to be allies and shit. Look, now they just trying to wipe us the fuck out. Now look at us. We're looking stupid. Dumb shit.
All right. So I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer to you, Dorae, to get us started on this. What's your response to this young lady's post?
So it's a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
I understand her sentiment, but this is the deal. When trans women are referred to as women, you got a problem. I understand that. I agree with the disrespect of calling you a bleeder. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with calling you a chest feeder. Mm-hmm. Though these are things, or breastfeeder, but those are things that you do and that you are. You may not want to be referred to it, but no one lied. You do bleed once a month. Mm-hmm. If you breastfed your baby, you're a breastfeeder. That's what you did. Now,
mm-hmm.
I'm fine with you not being called a cis woman. Mm-hmm. Some people will say a biological woman or born woman. It's a very gray area. Mm-hmm. I do believe that I'll respect you and call you or address you as you want to be addressed.
Right.
Because I would expect no less from you. So I don't have an issue with what she's feeling because those are her feelings, and I will never diminish your feelings. I'm going to say a lot of times it's not what is said; it's the way it's said. Your delivery sometimes is lost on your people because you didn't deliver it right. So the way you cussed, and I mean you cuss and all that, but I think, and she's like trying to wipe you out, girl. I would never want to wipe you out because we need you to make more of us. Anyway,
okay,
so
right.
no one's trying to wipe you out, hun. I just think the message may have been lost in the delivery, but I get the message and I received it because I'm I've been around the sun 52 times, so my perspective is a little different. I just think it's a catch-22. She has very valid points. So it is the delivery more than I don't have an issue with not calling you a cisgendered woman. You're a woman. So if they call me a woman too, then we just women. So you don't want to be defined or separated by that term. No problem. There's some trans women that don't want to be separated as a trans woman. Just call me a woman. I'm at a point, I don't...
Come on, mama, come on.
I don't give a damn what you call me, as long as you don't disrespect me. You can call me whatever you want. It's what I answer to. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. Half the time, if you call me anything other than what I find acceptable, who the hell are you talking to? It couldn't be me. You couldn't possibly be. You couldn't. And again, because I work in retail all the time, I was a makeup artist for years. True story. I was one of the most popular artists at my counter. I had about 6 women one day, and this woman walks up and they say, the other artists are free, and they say, hi, what brings you to Mac today? And I had my back turned. I always wear long hair, other than when performing, but my hair is never less than my shoulders or mid-back. And I'm fully made up, nails and all my, I'm in my element. The woman says, oh, I'm waiting for him. And I turned around, him who? Because if he shows up, nobody else will get nothing else done. So my stepsister, who was the counter manager, said, excuse me, we don't have any he's or hims. Her name is Dorae. So if you're not going to say she or her, you call her Dorae. I said, you better tell her before this whole counter gets shut down, because you know I tell this shit up. Don't play with me.
And I totally agree with you on the video as well. I think when it comes to the matter of identity, it's very personal. And you really have to go down to the level of what that person individually wants to be referred to. If you're okay with cis woman, great. If you're okay with trans woman, great. If you're okay with woman, fine. I think, and I agree with you, the delivery got kind of compromised at the end, where she started generalizing it and saying like, oh, this movement's trying to wipe us out. Unfortunately, it's that last piece that kind of trivialized the entire message. But the sentiment, totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be in my office and someone will come in with a really valid point. But if they come in with that kind of energy that's too aggressive or their voice is raised, I can't hear nothing they're trying to say. Because even if you could be saying, I love you, you're the best boss ever. But if you're giving me, I'm not hearing that. I need you to bring that down to a level that I can receive that information.
Before you get brought down. Oh, okay.
Right? And some people would try to tell me, well, you can't tell me I can't feel my feelings this moment.
No, right. Your feelings are your feelings, darling. That's why I tell people, you can never tell someone that they're too sensitive or they took it the wrong way. No, I took it how the hell you said it. Now, the way you said it is how it came out, and own your shit.
Right.
Own it.
Yes.
But my feelings are mine, and you don't get to tell me how to feel.
Right. And if if you feeling too much for me in this moment, I have the right to not be present, or to remove myself from your space or remove you from my space. While you feeling all extra. That's really interesting. I feel like we definitely have to avoid any kind of I don't know, a me, us versus them kind of mentality. And when I read the different comments on it, which of course, if you want to stay happy, you don't read comments. But sometimes I'm a glutton for punishment, and I read the comments just to see what people are saying on different posts, and just some of the blatant transphobia, the ignorance that people have, they say, and most of it is under the guise of either religion or uh, protecting something, whether that's the institution of family, or something like that. Or it's it can be sad sometimes, but then we have people in the world like us, state of Minnesota. It's not all bad. It's not all bad out there, but sometimes it can feel like it for a hot second.
It never feels like it to me, but I'm very aware of everything. I try to stay aware or be in the know of. Cases are case by case, sometimes individual.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the transphobia, I haven't experienced a lot of it, and the most that I've experienced has been from the gay community. So go figure.
Mm.
So that's a mess within itself.
Yeah.
Um, I worked in the heterosexual world since I was 15, 16 years old. They watched me transition, all of that. And I've been more respected by people that are opposite of me than the people that are like me. I've had more gay men try to out me, misgender me, mistreat me because they weren't able to live in their truths.
Mm.
Ta-da! But um, the ironically, two safe spaces that I found, and this is a shameless plug, but Heavy Hitters and Big Boy Pride have embraced me as their own. And because I was a lone wolf at both of them, especially with Big Boy Pride, I was a lone wolf, and I started coming. And over the years now, it's always, is she going to be there? Is she coming? Is she coming? Is she coming? I've heard
Mhm.
people, other friends of mine that haven't been, that are friends of people that have been like, have you seen this girl? It's this girl. Oh my gosh, she was amazing. And
Mm.
then just to see the fellowship and the way that I've been embraced, because I've always been, my gay mother always said that I was the little girl that no one told she couldn't, so she did.
All right.
Um, um, and with Heavy Hitters, it was different because I was asked to perform one year, then I was brought back because I was received so well, and then I was asked to be the first lady of the organization of
Mm.
all men. And I'm normally the only trans girl at the function, other than that show, maybe. I'm the girl.
Mm. Mm.
But the men are like, that's our baby, that's Dorae. And if she,
Mhm.
anybody looking sideways or funny, it's gonna be some shit. But I'm gonna use that to go to this. Just like children, they really don't see race. They may see gender, but when you allow children of different ethnic backgrounds to play together, all they know is that's my friend.
Right.
And if
Right.
adults started operating back from that space, especially within our community,
Mhm.
we would do better. But like I said, the majority of the transphobia that I've ever received has been from my own community, my
Mm.
my gay men.
Mm.
But I'm also at a point. I understand, baby. You said you can't be free. I hate that for you, but I'm free as a bird, and you might want to get out of your cage and get to flying. But
Mm.
yeah, and OT, you can attest to this. Am I lying?
No,
Mm.
you're absolutely
Compared to when
right.
I first came out, when I first came on the scene to now.
Mm.
And I'm glad you said that because perfect transition to what I was going to say. So I've known Dorae a long time through similar social Facebook groups and such like that. Um, Dorae's presence has been a blessing. Dorae has been in Facebook groups that are all gay men.
All
And
men.
in most of those spaces, she was the only trans woman. And I'm a Gen Xer, so there's been a learning curve along the way, not just for me, but the majority of those men. And Dorae has remained present. She's been very patient. She will rebuke you and gather you, but she will do it. But she will do it politely. Dorae's delivery was always to educate, not to humiliate.
Mm.
And I think, we have a lot of people that do have questions about pronouns, about the trans community and such like that. And so often they'll ask a question and maybe they don't word it properly, sometimes intentionally, sometimes accidentally. And just as quickly as the words come out of their mouth, they get gathered and they get humiliated.
Mhm.
And, I'm very grateful that Dorae has never given that energy. Dorae will correct you. But Dorae has always said, I think Dorae has a spirit where she's like, I can't change these people if I'm going to humiliate them. I have to, I imagine Dorae's goal is, I want you to understand. I want you to grow from this. And I'm very grateful because I feel like I've grown a lot just by having Dorae present. I've seen the men around me in those groups grow because of Dorae's presence. Not to say that we haven't had other trans individuals in those spaces, but they didn't last because they couldn't handle the animosity and the uncertainty and
Mm,
the uncomfortable space that came with it sometimes. But
mm,
Dorae has stood. Dorae has been there. She's, got very thick skin, but she also tells it like it is. And it's because of people like Dorae, why I honestly feel like you change the world one person at a time. And
Yes.
Dorae has undoubtedly done that one person at a time, present
mm,
company included.
Oh, that means a lot, and that's really the thing. I still look back to children. There was a Facebook post, you guys may have seen it. This little young black boy was out of school. He had been sick or whatever, and the majority of his classmates were white. And that little black boy came back to school, and those white kids swarmed upon that baby, whatever his name was. Oh, so and so's back, and they circled him and they hugged him and they loved on him because their friend was back.
mm,
And I just cried like a baby, like I just bawled tears.
mm,
And it was because they didn't see color.
mhm,
They missed their friend.
mhm,
And even in the safe spaces for our men, I was invited by one or two men who, for whatever reason, felt that I should be a part of that.
mhm,
And I've been honored to be the first lady of two of those groups and just be welcomed with
mhm.
love. And it didn't happen overnight. Like I said, I remember when I first got to one of them prides, baby, them men was looking at me like, what the hell is she doing here? Because you strange and different and me too. Now stop your shit. I'm here with your big ass. Come on. Cut that out.
Maybe
You
Dorae
know?
Dorae went skating with us one time. We
Yeah.
weren't gonna let anybody say anything to Dorae. Maybe she let that rink have it.
Yes. And it was such fun. It was about camaraderie and love and just yeah, loving on your people. So it's always a big reunion when I come to the prides now because they look forward to seeing me. They're like, we can't wait to see her. Where's she gonna be here? I'll get inboxes. You coming? I'm gonna be there.
I
Yeah.
mean, don't get us wrong. We love Dorae the entertainer, but we absolutely love Dorae the person.
Right.
Mhm. So, Dorae, what advice do you have for people who who uh, who maybe aren't used to dealing with people who are different than them? And I'm almost speaking from people who I work with and people who are like them who are now starting to engage with the younger generation who are, as I mentioned earlier, kind of dealing with different gender identities and things like that. And the older people are scared to get it wrong, scared to offend, scared that somebody will be like, "Oh, you're insensitive because you misgendered me 3 times this week," and even though like, and I mean like on accident, not on purpose. When people are like, some people are still trying to get it. What advice do you have for people who are trying to get it, who kind of go like, "Oh man, just fuck it. I'm just gonna call everybody by their last name because I'm scared to get it wrong, and I'm scared that some people gonna be mad at me, and I'm just scared." What do you have to say for those people who are living in fear?
Ask a question. Just the dumbest question is the one you don't ask. They teach you that all the time. Just ask the questions that you're uncertain of, that you're not aware of, and be open and susceptible to listening. Just listen.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's it. Just ask questions if you don't understand, but choose your words wisely.
mm,
Choose your words carefully.
mm,
And I say that from a sincere place because if you ask the right questions the right way, you're gonna get everything you want. And
mm,
there's no malice and there's no ill will. Now, for those that intentionally do what they do, then you get what you get.
mm. Gotcha.
That's it. That's all.
All
It,
right.
it's simple. It's not hard. If you I operate from the parenting rule the way I was parented by my mother and stepfather. Wherever you showed out at, that's where you got your ass tore up at. And that could be church, grocery store, school, playground, don't matter. If after a while you knew not to do that again because you didn't want to get towed up no more.
Right.
So I get the older people not knowing, but this is the other thing for the ones that may be a little confused. However they present themselves, we will go with that. But then if you're unsure, ask them, what do you prefer to be called? How do you prefer to be addressed? Just that simple. See how simple that is? And that wasn't being mean or nasty. I just want to know so I don't mess it up.
Right.
And I'm not trying to offend you because if I don't, the dumbest, I don't know. Don't be afraid to say I don't know.
Right. This is a random question. Did you watch that Dave Chappelle Netflix special that everybody was saying that he was
up in arms about? No, because I'm not a Dave Chappelle fan, so I wouldn't give a damn what he was talking about. He is nobody that I would ever watch, never subscribed to, never thought he was funny. He never appealed to me, so I wouldn't give a damn what he was talking about. I don't care who he misgendered or what he said. Who gives a shit? So.
But I would be curious. I think I want to do an episode with you in the future where we talk about that and comedians who talk or whatever like that to get because I got just a big argument with friends. Of course, none of them were transgender people about that special. So I really want to hear. I just want to hear from somebody who's in it.
I'm in it, and again, if it doesn't apply to me directly, if you don't get to group me because all gay men ain't alike, all trans women not alike, all Mexican men are not alike, all black men not alike. So you don't get to group me. I'm an individual. I wasn't born a twin, so I won't die a copy. With that being said, I don't give a damn what you got going on. Who gives a shit? You ain't nobody I would check for that I'm going to subscribe to, give you my money, or patronize or support you. So what you think or how you feel is irrelevant. Now, if some stupid ass happens to listen to you and try your funny shit, they're going to get their ass handed to them. So with that being said, mind the business that pays you, govern yourself accordingly, and address me as you would want to be addressed.
Right.
If it walk like a duck and quack like a duck, 9 times out of 10, Affleck, it's a duck.
All right. Okay. But
I'm with you. I'm with Dorae. I'm somebody who doesn't give relevance to somebody and their words if they just don't have any meaning in my life.
Yeah, who gives a rat's ass? And Cream, sir.
Yes.
You know, I'm 52, so my patience is different. My thought process is different. I'm at a point I give 0 fucks, and I'll sell one before I give one. Just so we clear.
But it could be, and not to belabor the point, but it could be an interesting philosophical conversation to have because it's not about how much we care about what he said, but do we agree that what he said is punching down? Do we agree that what he said is
if you allow it, if you're in that headspace where he could affect you, maybe it could punch you down. But a bitch like me, you could never. You could never, ever.
Yes.
Baby, what you eat don't make me shit and vice versa. Because I could call you a few things too, but I choose not to because I don't give a fuck about you.
Right. Gotcha. All right.
Who gives a damn? Now, whoever needs to be educated on that, maybe you should try finding another trans woman that has a different point of view. But mine, I could give 2 shits. Dave Chappelle, so I don't watch him, don't give a damn about him, didn't find him funny ever.
Gotcha.
So he could have a gazillion specials. I would have never watched one. I can't tell you one thing Dave Chappelle has ever said. Because I don't give a damn about that man. Baby, listen. I would care more if something happened to him for the people that love him or care about him, but I give a fuck about him.
Gotcha. Love it. I love it. Hey, I love it. I love the candor. I love it. Now we got one more thing as we get ready to close out. I can't believe this
okay.
going by so fast. All right.
Yeah.
So in this time of turmoil in the world, we always like to try to end with something positive. And so I want us to all share one great thing that is happening or has happened that gives you faith in the world, in people, in whatever. What's something that gives you joy and faith in this world?
For me, I had a situation with a young lady that was in a very dark place, and she publicly attacked me on social media, and I had wrote her ass off. And I vowed I'd never speak to that hoe again. Because I'm a Capricorn. When you cross me, you just crossed. And I'm the type of person, I forgive you right then and there because God is merciful, and my God, the one I pray to, is merciful and he's gracious to me. So I have to forgive you because he forgives me. With that being said, I want you to eat, just not at my table. I want you to win, just not on my team. She and I had seen each other, and I kept it classy. I would, just say hello, but fuck with you. But something happened magical Sunday at the pageant I was hosting, and we spoke, and she came up and we hugged, and she apologized, and it brought tears to my eyes. And we took a picture. And then she went to social media and she said, I believe in correcting my errors. I publicly, I did that publicly. So I apologized publicly. And I was wrong. She didn't deserve any of what I did. And it gave me faith in humanity, but it also gave me the faith that I also know, because I tease a lot now, say, well, God's using me, but he's saving you. And I realized that he did use me because he allowed me the spirit of forgiveness in that moment, because she was sincere and I received it. And I'm thankful for that. So I know that when we're healing sometimes, and we're not always in the best spaces, sometimes we unleash and unlash on people that we say we care about. And I'm glad that I'm in a space that I can forgive you. And depending on the severity of this, we may try to reestablish something. Now, if it's just beyond repair, then God bless you, and see you where I see you. But the joy it has brought me is when she publicly posted it on social media. So many people commented on the growth and the humanity and the humility of it all, and that gives me faith.
Yes. Oh, lovely. Soulful, what about you?
It's going to be a little bit of me and a lot of the world. One of the things that I struggle with is having a chip on my shoulder when, I could be at an event and everything could be awesome, and then one tiny little thing happens and ruins everything for me. I used to wait tables part-time, and I could go and wait 10 tables, and 9 out of the 10 tables tipped me really well. It was a great table. We interacted great. And then I get that one table that was just really crappy, treated me like shit, and hardly tipped me, and that was enough to ruin my night. So it's just one of the things that I struggle with, just separating that. But like I mentioned earlier, with Big Boy Pride coming up, I'm always chime in their chats and everything, kind of just being silly, being me with the little memes that I make, trying to energize people, make them laugh and get excited about the event. Not necessarily for them, but for me, because I'm getting excited about the event. But historically, I've been to these events and I'll have a negative experience here and there. Somebody, pretends that they're happy to see me and then talked a whole lot of crap behind my back, which I'm surprised I'm experiencing that at this age, because I would think that's kind of high school stuff.
Very mean boy.
Yes. I'll have people that I'll introduce myself to just being friendly, and they kind of give me that stank face, like, why is he even talking to me? I've had, Big Boy Pride is largely a predominantly Black gay event, and I'm usually one of the very, very few Hispanic people there. And I actually had somebody call me the help one year just because I was Hispanic. So I'm glad though that I've gotten into a space where I don't let that one thing ruin for me, and I have the maturity to realize that one person doesn't represent the whole event. Because for the one person that may or may not be bold enough to say something ignorant and stupid like that to me, there's hundreds of people there that show me love, that hug me, that are really, really blessed by my presence, and actually let me know it I've made some incredible friends. I've nurtured some wonderful relationships with people there, and they remind me of how much they value me, and vice versa, 365 days a year, not just during the event. And having that kind of love and energy, year round, definitely inspires me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, for me, I recently, this past Sunday, I'm the advisor for a group of Black and Latino students on my campus, and it's our end of the year. Everything's winding down, and I had them over to the house for a barbecue just so they could kind of give their new officers and all that. But also, I just kind of wanted to just share the new space that made our house with them, and it was just really so nice to see these, Black and brown kids together communing together. And but also I think for me it was also just kind of being an example of like, here we are, two gay men, in a home together for these diverse group of students. We were both Black, and just to say, hey, you know this is what life looks like. It's not just maybe one way or the predominant way that you see it. And it just felt really good to have that energy in the house, and they were running out and playing in the backyard. I felt like somebody granddaddy, like watching them run around, chase each other in the back. It was a really good time, and I really was rejuvenated by their joy and of each other, and kind of us all spending time together. So it was really nice, really nice.
That's awesome.
All right. That is the end of our time. I just want to say thank you so much to Dorae for being here with us today.
It's wonderful.
It was a pleasure to meet you virtually. Actually, I guess I've met you before. Technically, I think I even tipped you at that brunch. But I can't wait till next time I see you. That we know each other.
Right. Looking forward to it,
Yeah.
Mr. Diggler.
Yeah. It's Soulful, my friend, my pal. So good seeing you.
Likewise.
We have just celebrated just over a year now of this podcast, and here
So
we
it's
are.
just like going to reach a lot of people, and I'm going to gag when it's all said and done.
Yes. Post away, share. Let the children see. Let the children.
I be trying to filter, but it don't be working.
This is not the place for filtering. You
I
are
be trying to be PC.
I think you were fairly PC enough. I think you were just enough. You told that line just well. I think. All right. Thank you all for listening or watching the Soulful Cream podcast, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.